Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of What Will They Talk About Next? We were just briefly talking about, in between recordings, briefly talking about the new graphics cards NVIDIA just put out, which are basically just God in a small card that you place on your motherboard. It's fucking... We need to get on that like mega torch hype because I'm getting real tired of leaving my home and having to destroy like 6 enemies before going down below. That's just aggravating. Yeah, we were discussing those cards. NVIDIA's God, AMD, ripping pepperoni. Don't know what you're gonna come up with. Godspeed. You sure sound like an NVIDIA fanboy? Well, a couple things. One, I am. I have built systems AMD and in like AMD Radeon or like AMD now based, and also NVIDIA Intel based, which is what I usually stick with. NVIDIA's been fucking their drivers up bad in the last while. It used to be one of the main things that I'd tell people, you know, if you were considering an AMD, was be watch the drivers, but then that became less of an issue, and now NVIDIA is making shit drivers. But beyond that, I mean, it's just like, it's not that AMD makes bad graphics cards. They can hold up well, price performance 100%, but they, you know, they require so much power, and they run so hot, by and large, that it's still whatever.
I feel like the majority of people that buy AMD cards are the people that are really budgeting for a computer and can't really afford to buy.
Well, that's the thing. You're like
a nicer graphics card, so they and then a lot of the time, like honestly, like, and I'm sure there are people that'll make the argument for sure, but a lot of the time is they regret it. Like they're like, why the fuck didn't I just save a little longer and get the better graphics card, like knock it with AMD. But you know, I can't speak for everybody, but a lot of people that I hear that get AMD, it's always been like, well, it was $300 cheaper than an NVIDIA. It was, I looked up all the stats. It was pretty much the same performance. You know, I'm only using it for this, and that, and then rip the dream.
Well, like like you can get a lot of good AMD cards for sure that will do pretty much what most people are looking to do with their games. It's usually when it comes to the graphics cards, it's usually like, where am I going to save $79?
Yeah. And
the big ticket item tends to fall on a graphics card, and AMD puts out decent price to performance that tends to save you that like $50 to $75. And allow you to put it in other areas of your computer if you need to. Or just not at all if you're saving money. So, but to say that I sound like an NVIDIA fanboy because I am, you know, proposing that in order for them to have much hope beyond selling to AMD loyalists, with the onset of the 1060, 70, and 1080, for them to come up with something that will come close to or match the 1070 and be $50 to $75 cheaper, I don't think that makes me a fanboy. I think that just makes me realistic.
I think a lot of people that buy AMD are actually going to buy the 1080, 1070 now.
I imagine.
Like, you'd be dumb not to. At this point, unless AMD comes up with something like insane.
The timing on this is really great too, and I'm sure a lot of the VR guys already knew that these were coming, because these cards that NVIDIA are just putting out are what are really going to make VR way more affordable than it was before. Because if you were trying to get into VR using the 9 series of graphics cards, you were shelling out $600 to $800 to get, you know, good top-end performance that you could hope for right now in like a 970, 980, 980 Ti, unless you wanted to, like, you know, SLI or Crossfire to make it happen. But yeah, the AMD's biggest thing for me as of late has just been, you get very good price performance, but they're power hogs to no end, and they put out heat like nobody's business. You can legit space heat. I mean, my NVIDIA card in the relatively quiet build that I have for my computer, so there's good airflow, but it's not like I don't have like a half X with 16 monster fans running at 1,000,000 RPM. It'll hit, like if I'm playing Overwatch and I max Overwatch out, it'll hit 79 because of the fan curve I have. It'll hit 79 degrees and then we'll cap out there because the fan, I have it set so that it doesn't sound like a jet turbine, but we'll still keep the card below 80. Like the AMD cards, you gotta like max the fan out to like be lucky to hit 80 in like a good airflow case. It's just something that always kind of irked me about the AMD cards.
I don't think I've ever owned an AMD card. Actually, I may have once upon a time.
I've only ever owned an AMD video card, I think, once. Yeah.
I think
I've had a lot of like AMD CPU based stuff. I built 2 computers using AMD CPU based stuff, but not GPU.
Yeah, I've the first custom computer that I got, I didn't build, but I bought it from a computer store for like $400, like a pre-made gaming computer. That one had a AMD on it, but I wasn't doing a lot of gaming back then anyway. It was literally just like, very minimal stuff. It was more for doing everyday computer shit.
NVIDIA and AMD have different qualities. I prefer AMD to crack password hashes, as they usually are better for that, but I guess NVIDIA are better for gaming. Well, I mean, when people talk about graphics cards, 90% of the time you're talking gaming, and then like the other 10, maybe the other 8%, we'd be discussing, rendering capabilities for, audio, video, or not audio necessarily, but video work, or photoshopping, things of that nature.
Yeah, but I mean, even still, you're going to use
video production, and then you're using a totally different class of cards.
Like, yeah, exactly. And a lot of it, you're going to use CPU anyway, unless you're rendering like some Pixar level shit, like your like next level stuff. Like running a couple of Titans and shit.
Not even Titans. You'd be using the like.
Well, they have like what, the Titan X.
You'd use like the pro grade stuff. I mean, Titan X isn't bad for that kind of stuff, but they have an entirely different line specifically for video rendering and stuff like AutoCAD and shit like that. Very specific cards.
Rendering porn, Kappa.
Kappa.
I'm getting myself a pair of those spy glasses.
What?
You know those like 1080p spy glasses, like the like camera on the glasses. Oh, what the fuck is this? A diamond? What it? The fuck? What is that? Yeah, like you can you get like they're like glasses. They're sunglasses. Where they look like sunglasses, but they have a camera on them, and it records like 1080p, 60 frames.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a pair so I can, when I do my garage sailing and shit, for like finding retro games and stuff, that I can just wear them so people aren't like weirded out. Like holding like a GoPro or some shit. And also, like, if I'm doing motovlogging, I can just have the glasses on underneath my helmet. It makes it, like, super easy.
Yeah, make it easier.
And the sound is, like, really good on them, too.
Are you back at the house by any chance, or are you still underground?
Oh, dude, I'm way away.
Okay.
And, of course, I'm going to make some porn as well. You know what I'm saying?
Casual porn creation.
Just some homemade porn.
Alright, time to work my way back home as night falls yet again.
What about the Microsoft Holo glasses? I don't know.
The HoloLens?
I'm gonna be getting, they're called like,
we're a good 5 years away from the HoloLens.
It's like Pivot Head or something like that. They're called. They're like the #1 glasses thing out there. Just takes a micro SD card.
Yeah, it's the Quadro series for
no
NVIDIA.
portal gun yet, dude. Sadly.
No, 0 portal guns means I get to walk back home. I just need to make a sleeping bag. Is a sleeping bag literally like create a bag, create a bed, put the two together on a crafting table, sleeping bag? Please tell me it's that simple, because that would be amazing. I'm gonna have to search it up in the inventory screen. See what it takes.
That is lava dripping.
Wool and carpet.
Yeah, I'm out of this bitch.
So...
see you later, Valentine.
Let's see.
My Valentine.
Seared brick.
Man, I'm getting so much junk.
Make grout.
Oh, this guy just leaped the table. Fucking sneaky prick.
Where do I have all my sand? Do I even have sand downstairs? I hope so. Or do I still have all that clay? Oh my god.
VR doesn't translate well for streamers, does it? I haven't seen many streamers using VR because just a lot of people don't have VR yet.
Well, VR is also just a pain in the ass to stream.
That too.
It's just not... Especially if you're doing anything that isn't the Oculus.
Well, the Vive, shit.
I just need sand.
I'm gonna die down here, man.
Monsters nearby. Fucking seriously. Oh, what is life? Where is it?
Jesus. Jesus.
Jeez. Where the shit?
Yeah, I hear the Vive is just really, really great. I'm trying to get my hands on one, but
it's great if you have the room to set up the cameras and stuff.
Yeah,
I kind of do camera.
I kind of do in this room. I just have to like clear out some of the stuff on the floor. Well, yeah, let's see how much I can make out of the seared brick that I already have, I suppose, before we get too crazy with it. Let's grow. So 4 bricks into a block for that. But we were talking about doing... I think Jamjar said to start with the tank, so that the tank placement, and work from there. Yeah, I've done a lot of research on the VRs. I think I would prefer to have the Vive over the Oculus. But the Oculus is nice because you can just kind of plug it in and sit and play. And you can do that too with the Vive, like, but for a lot of the lot of the titles and stuff, you gotta like move around and shit.
Oh, the basin.
But yeah, I've seen, I actually saw one guy doing Minecraft like a year ago on the Oculus. And it was kind of cool.
Okay.
The touch controllers were beautiful, yeah. It's just sick. I can't wait to get my hands on one. There was a guy locally on Kijiji that is like renting them out. I think it was a business, and I asked if he would sell me one, but he was like, no, just renting them. Fuck you then. I should just rent it and then just not give it back and just pay the penalty just to have it.
Alright, so which part is the basin? Is that the one that, that basin needs to be on the very bottom, correct? Let's see. That's the basin. So the basin needs to be above, if we're gonna put it into a hopper and everything, so we need 1, 2, 3 blocks up.
Yeah, we almost got enough diamonds, guys.
To make use of a hopper.
I haven't been finding much.
Yeah, you can come if you want, Jam Jar. So we want to be 3 blocks up if we want to use a hopper.
I'm gonna wait till Gen 2. It'll probably be a while before Gen 2 comes out. Definitely well over a year. I mean, I think there's gonna be like a back order of this generation's or this gen's probably for like the next 9 months.
Just in front and below a drain? Well, it can be on any level. Yeah, I know, but if I want the chest to be down here on this level, then we need the chest, the hopper, and then the basin. And this needs to be 1 block out from... So let's see, so if this is my, let's just say that this is my...
Bum 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 bum.
Right. Oh no, this is gonna be 1 over.
Man, where are all the diamonds at? Holy shit, guys. Like the last 15 minutes? I think I found 1 patch of diamonds. It wasn't even a big one. It's crazy.
So if that's our smeltery...
Yeah, I heard about the pre-order thing where there's a huge back order, but you can buy them at Best Buy soon for a short period of time. And a lot of people that pre-order them are really salty. Because they're still waiting and they could have just went to Best Buy and bought them.
So we can do it that way. But no, because this is going to run into the side of the house. So I was right the first time.
No, those aren't diamonds.
Derpa 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 derpa.
I don't know when they're going to be available at Best Buy, and I don't even know if they're going to be available here in Canada.
So I mean,
but
we could
if they are,
we could just do it that way, and then it's not as big.
I will be there soon the doors open.
Or we can go 1 more block over. But then it's huge.
Yeah, I went on eBay to try and find one, but dude, they're asking like ridiculous prices. Just
let's see.
Ridiculous. One of those zombies with red eyes. Oh, it's one of those Thumbcraft zombies. Oh my god, 2 of them? Really?
The bitrate on streaming full 360 VR game footage seems insane. Well, I mean, if you're gonna, well, VR makes use of occlusion, right? So, like, it's only rendering technically what's out in front of you in an arc, and then it renders stuff as you move around and look around. If that's what I'm understanding. To reduce the amount of friggin'...
Yeah, they're really cool. Like, when I first heard about VR stuff, I was like, oh, that's kind of neat, but it seems like a gimmick. But no, it's legit, man. It's really fucking good.
Well, this is gonna be...
I've used it a few times. It's pretty sick. Like, I actually think it's going to be a big part of gaming in the future. It's never gonna, like, take over completely, but there'll be a market for it for sure. Like, there's just some games that are just really cool for first person. Like, being like, even just the horror game genre would just be sick.
So, as it stands right now, I can make this thing a 1x1 by 20 tall. The
immersion is great, man. It really is. When I first played it, I couldn't believe it. And I was playing, like, on the Oculus, I was playing the space game, where you're just in a spaceship and you're flying around shooting shit. I was blown away by it. Like, the graphics were great. I was sitting in the chair, and you could literally just look around you, and you're inside the thing. You could just turn your whole body around, and you're looking what is directly behind you. You look up, you see what's up, you look down, and, like, even when you move your shoulders, like, you can see your character, like, move his shoulder and stuff. It's very, like, the way they did it, it's not just, like, looking around and that's it. It really gets, like, your body movements as well. If you were to, like, nod your head left and right, like, on an angle and shit, it would be, like, it would get those angles perfectly. It's just crazy. Like, you're blown away by it. When you first put it on, you're like, I can't fucking believe this shit. Like, wow. I can own this. This is sick. I just don't know how much of it I would play outside of, like, you know, streaming, and I don't think it's, like, something where I'd want it to completely take over my gaming experience. Like, I'm gonna substitute what I normally play to do VR. I think VR is, like, it's like a really cool thing. If you're playing, like, a horror game or some sort of puzzle game, would be kind of cool too. But I don't know about beyond that. I think even a first-person shooter would be kind of cool as well. But I think it would really succeed in the horror genre.
Okay, so... I could even bury the chest, I guess, technically speaking. I could put the chest down here.
Yeah, Star Citizen with it would be crazy. Like, games like that, where you're just, like...
Which means
you
I could
just
make...
lose yourself.
I could make a hopper... Yeah, one high, right here, the hopper... The chest, hopper...
I had a pretty long conversation with a guy at PAX about Star Citizen.
How long until I stream VR? Never, because I don't actually ever plan on having VR. I've used it. It's neato.
Where'd you use it at?
When I was doing GameCode stuff, and I was at many conventions, and they were at, like, all the conventions. Used Oculus.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Played Paperboy... like a redone Paperboy for the NES, for VR. So you were throwing papers. They had you sitting on a bike, so you were pedaling on the bike. And they had the bike hooked up to an accelerometer so that it could get translated into the game.
That's cool.
And you were throwing the newspapers when you were looking and throwing stuff. Chest hopper basin. Okay, so the basin, yeah. So the basin has to be 3 blocks up.
Star Citizen, I was so hyped. I pledged 3 years ago and still no game today. I know. Dude, I had a, like, literally a half-hour conversation with one of the, I think, like, the main Twitch guy that does Star Citizen. And I was respectful of like his opinion and stuff for sure, but I pretty much told him that the company is are crooks, and it's just that simple. There's just no other way to put it. But yeah, I mean, it was like the way Star Citizen was set up. It's genius. It's absolutely genius, the marketing that they did for that with the Kickstarter. They basically gave you your dream game idea. I mean, who in the hell wouldn't be down for Star Citizen? You know, the idea as a whole. I mean, Jesus Christ, shut up and take my money. And they did. So what they did is they created a dream. They let you buy into it, and then they just kept keeping the whole goal up. Like every fucking day there was another $1 million goal, $1 million goal, $1 million goal. And now we still don't have a game. Nowhere's near. Not even close.
So if I don't do base and hopper, then what am I gonna do? I'm gonna have to come back here. I'm just gonna be collecting it all the time, right? So then what, if I don't do base and hopper, then what, for the people who are saying don't do that, then what is your suggestion? Don't just say don't do something, give me a solution. Come to me with a problem and a solution, not just a problem.
Yeah, I know who Chris Roberts is. That's the guy who created that old school game, right? The other star, or the other
yeah, so that was what I was gonna do. Go ahead.
Big hit game. What game is that, Adam?
Well, what? Sorry, repeat it, because I was just watching.
The guy who is creating Star Citizen. He came from one of those classic shooter game, space games.
Oh, Wing Commander. Wing Commander. Yeah, Wing Commander. Yeah. Had like fucking oh my god. He had Luke Skywalker in it. I can't think of his name right now for some reason. Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill.
Amongst other people.
Yeah. No, I know. It was like the perfect storm, right? You had a guy that created a great game way back in the day. You took his word for it. He had it was a great idea, great concept, super ambitious, overly ambitious. And it had that legitimacy to it because of who was promoting it and who was creating this game. And they took all the money. Dude, I've been hearing horror stories about that shit. I've been hearing that like some of the people that are in the company are getting paid like ridiculous amounts of money, like a year. Like we're talking ridiculous amounts of money. I've heard it all. I've heard it all. Now I don't know if it's all true or not, but they just keep collecting more and more money. They just don't know when to stop and just make a game. So I don't know. Oh, I mean, I'm not a game designer, so.
Well, now that the thing right now for it is that they've passed the point in which they're just developing engine work and code and everything. That's all handled now. So the production has ramped up dramatically. This fucking godforsaken spot. And so the content they're putting out has actually gone up drastically here in the last couple of months. Like they're pumping stuff out. I mean I still think it's crazy. I mean they have a lot of stuff to try and do, but I mean it's coming. There's a lot coming out. I still think that it'll be impressive if they ever complete it to the standard in which they even hold it to themselves, but if they do, then I don't know, fucking craziest, most epic game of all time. We'll see. We'll see.
I don't think so. I'm not buying into it.
Well, I'm not. Mostly because even if I wanted to, it's a game that you'd only have to. You're playing one game, and that game is Star Citizen.
Yep.
That is your game.
I mean, there's people that have dumped hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars.
Dude, this guy who bought everything you get in the game twice, it was like 40 grand.
Yeah, that guy has problems.
You can replace the hopper with an item duct pipe, easy to craft, and look pretty much the same. Can I? All right, this is what I'm thinking, guys. You guys can let me know if this idea is possible. Can I have a smeltery here, and then somebody was saying to have 2 basins or 2 pipes to feed 2 different things. Okay, so let's say I wanted to feed those things. Can I feed those things through pipes in the floor here, and then have the workstation across this wall into the 2 items in which you're talking about having it for either collection or anything like that? Can we make, is that doable without being a complete gong show? That's doable? Okay. Oh, no, I'm not at that level yet. I'm just planning ahead, right? I'm just asking what's possible so that when I am capable of doing it, then, you know, it is what it is.
Nice, more diamonds. Alright, we're almost done here, guys, so we can go back.
It won't look pretty, though. Well, I could put it 2 bricks down, I guess, and bring it over and up. And then I could have a floor still. But, regardless. Alright, so step 1, let's just build this damn thing. So let's just say that we're gonna go, with regular smeltery ideas here. Somebody said that using a hopper and a chest wastes resources.
Oh my god, we're 1 diamond off. Fuck.
Can we confirm or deny this fact?
Rip the dream, boys. Need 1 more here. 1 more diamond, guys. Oh, right there. We really needed these diamonds, man. We used so much of them. Let's condense down some of this stuff here. Oh, we also need to get obsidian before we go.
Okay, alright. Well, then we'll just build the damn smeltery first. So basically just this 3x3 footprint. Up.
Okay.
So I already have my brick shit. Which I need to go and create, if I remember correctly here. Where's my little book of knowledge?
Oh, thanks, Predominance. That's cool, man.
Oh, I see that. Ah, I gotcha, yeah. That's what they're doing, so they're doing 3x3 there, but we're gonna make it pretty tall, so I don't think we need to worry about that. Yeah, we get the grout, seared brick, so we need to make, you know, blocks, essentially. We have the drain. Let's make the drain. I guess we need to make a controller as well. So let's do that.
There we go.
I like how that's not 3x3. Well, it's fucking... Guys. Oh, look.
You getting trolled, bro?
There. Magical.
Why do I even pick up fucking flint? Alright, there we go. Everything is taken care of.
the fuck? Minecraft, please. Give me that drain. The casting basin, we have a drain. Oh yeah, we wanted to have a controller, right? Oh my god. Controller.
Oh, is that diamonds? Yeah, there they are, boys.
Okay.
There it is. There it. Oh, 15? Is this real life?
Got it. We need a tank.
Well, that didn't last long. Alright, let's get out of here. Oh, wait, I gotta get obsidian. Lava is down this way.
Faucet and casting table.
Except I don't want to... Oh, look at this little shit stuck down there.
That's the faucet.
Alright, let's go down this way then.
Two drains, two faucets. Okay.
Are you still working on a smeltery, dude?
Well, I've been just talking. I haven't really even...
Oh, you haven't been doing much.
Haven't been doing that much.
See, the good thing about talking and mining for diamonds is you can still just talk. In this week's 3-hour part, will Adam finish a smeltery? Find out.
No.
Huh? No.
No. Okay, we got two of those. We want to have...
Oh, yeah, look at that, boys.
Two drains.
Now we're way over. Gotta hold us off here until we get over to this lava.
Two basins.
Basin, baby. Alright, almost.
I understand what 3x3 core means, Wadekiss. I'm not completely fucking retarded. And it's a very... It might seem like
sure?
I'm retarded.
But he is not.
But I'm not. Alright, we need a table... and a tank still.
We're gonna cut off the water here. We're gonna collect some obsidian.
Right, all that plus a glass piece for that. That's pretty easy. And that's a table. Okay. Table and some glass. Got the tank. Phenomenal. Now, before people go ahead and have an absolute fucking aneurysm and I don't want to have to look at chat every 5 seconds and see it, we're just going to make this 3x3 interior because I'm just going to end up listening to it for the rest of my life. So in order for 3x3, I'm going to have to go one more over, which is unfortunate. Hold on. Let's go sleep. Daytime is becoming night soon.
I don't know what I want for supper tonight. I think I might get Kayla to grab me some Subway. Been on that Subway chopped salad hype, man. It's delish.
I can't stand their chopped salads because they chop it so fine. I feel like I'm eating sawdust. They friggin' go ham on that shit.
Well, you just ask them not to.
Like, they just go full retard on it. Like, they get it into that bowl, and they have that really awkward, like, potato masher-looking thing, and they just fucking wreck everything. Tomatoes getting just creamed. Everything dies.
Yeah, you can just ask them to not chop it.
Yeah.
You can just ask for a salad. You don't need to get a chopped salad.
Yeah.
That's why they call it the chopped salad, because you want it chopped.
Well, shit. I'm now well informed.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna complain about the chopped salad, then you could not get the chopped salad. It's just that simple. It didn't seem like you were that informed by the way you're talking about it.
1, 2. So I could... I think we'll go this way with it.
Adam and his war council seems like a bunch of married couples. I just let my chat rage when I do dumb shit. And then when they complain, I purposely just leave it. That's how I've always been.
Amazing.
Yeah. That's how I roll, though.
Okay, so... we need to go... one more past this as well, right? Because we're starting from here. Yeah, I need to dig out one more.
Shazam.
So we will go one more.
Adam eventually just submits to their will.
Adam
is a people pleaser, man. He gets irritated by one negative comment.
It's just either I have to keep looking over and just seeing like circle jerk, or just do it and then not have to look at circle jerk. That's my methodology, especially if it's something minor that I just could not care less about. All right, so that will properly give me the world's largest chimney. Fantastic. I need to get... probably need to make more of these.
Sorry guys, I know this isn't the most exciting thing to watch, but we do need obsidian, so there's that.
Oh, salty. All right, it's okay. We're too shy. We would be, but you know, we can make more.
Did you guys see the Power Rangers stuff that came out?
Oh man. Oh god, the Power Rangers shit. So many people fucking losing their minds over the suits.
Oh, I don't mind the suits.
Oh.
The main girl though, she looks retarded. She looks like Poison Ivy from Batman.
Really?
Yeah, dude. It looks nothing like I forget her name
Rita?
in the show. Yeah, Rita. It looks nothing like Rita. It literally looks like Ivy. Like
well, that's
identical.
Not great.
I actually thought it was. I actually thought it was her. I was like, oh shit, they're bringing her into the Batman. Yeah.
That's not great.
Yeah, all right. It just looks nothing like her. But I don't care about the suits. I think the suits are all right.
You're like, why do the girls have titty breastplate armor?
Because they're girls. Where else are you gonna hold the titties at?
No, they were like, but if you look at like, you know, medieval armor for women, it wasn't, you know, they just had like the big chest plate and that's it. It didn't look like there were a bunch of like tightly fitted titties in there. And it was like,
well,
fucking,
you know what, dude?
This
it's
is
fucking
space alien armor from fucking Power Rangers.
Yeah, seriously. Seriously.
Fuck, the originals were a bunch of spandex. There was no fucking... It was spandex that when swords hit it, it still somehow sparked and flamed. Like, fuck, get over yourself. Just stop trying to make sense of the Power Rangers. Why would you ever do that?
Because it's the internet.
Oh my lord.
I think it's gonna be kind of cool, but I feel as though it's gonna fail horribly. Because I think the Power Rangers would be like, if they don't make it like a shitty, like, obviously it's gonna be PG-13, but if they don't make it too childish, because the people that watch Power Rangers are gonna be people our age now, right? Like, I'm sure they're...
Well, are they trying to like reboot everything to make this work for a TV series? I mean, they're still doing Power Rangers TV shows.
Yeah, they're still doing Power Rangers, but I think this is more marketed towards the young adults. But still, you know, it's kind of like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm assuming that's how it's gonna be. You know, kind of childish. Good for, you know, younger kids, like say 10, 11, 12, but also going to be some humor there and some action to appease the adults. I think that's what they're going for. But I think what they're really going for is a franchise, obviously. You know, they're going to want to make more of these movies. Like any other.
Oh, yeah. I need to go get myself some sand. I'm going to make more bricks, because we're doing this once. We're not like, oh, we're gonna make a smell tree for children. No, we're doing this once. It's gonna be enormous. It's gonna look hilarious. And then I'm done with it.
All right, I'm actually getting the fuck out of here now. All right, boys, time to go back to the surface. We got our obsidian, we got our diamonds. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. You see all this shit? Like all the constant PR shitstorm around League of Legends?
No.
Oh god. It's just a gong show, dude. If Riot tried any harder to fuck it up, I don't know if they could.
Well, what's the drama now?
So League of Legends pays by a large margin the least amount of money to their casters and general people that work the show for them, like the people that make everything happen. In like this latest, what was it? Was it for DreamHack or something else? Can't remember which one it was. But anyway, a couple of the bigger ones, the biggest names, like Monte Cristo, for example. Monty. Was like, we're just like we're gonna not go because you want to pay us barely enough. Like this is Riot logic. All right, so we've got some people that carry the broadcast for us. Let's pay them enough just enough to get to the venue and back again. And pay for their stay, and then have a couple of extra dollars left over. That is their idea of a good time.
Oh, okay.
Which, given the monumental amount of money that Riot makes, might be a little fucked up. So Monty and I think one other I can't think of right now. Was like, all right, we're just not going to go to this one because you don't want to pay us anything. You're basically just giving us a ticket to go somewhere and work and then go home and do that for free. Because you're just covering expenses. So, great. So he does that. There's been a bunch of previous complications with some other coaches and team owners in the past with Riot whenever they've, you know, done something that Riot's like, you know, not particularly a fan of. And so just recently, one of the guys got banned. Or no, what happened was he was already in a ban for some shit that never happened. Riot just like fucking straight made some shit up because they can, because they're playing judge, jury, and everything else. And God made some shit up. Said, "Hey, you fucked with the contract. It was surrounding a player trade where you leveraged your position to try and like basically steal a player from another team." Is what was happening. What they were claiming. and which was not what happened. And so anyway, that goes down and gets banned for a year from any interactions with any teams or whatever, and cool, okay. Just recently, when this all goes down, he gets a perma-ban now for everything.
From the game?
Just perma-ban. He can't, no team operations, anything like that, just fucking ban hammer the size of
They've been banning a lot of people as of late. I've been hearing.
Oh, they're like, handing it out like anybody
like
that
even big streamers.
Yeah,
like they're just like, see ya.
And if they don't think that you're sucking that Riot D hard enough, they're just leveling people left, right, and center. So anyway, he gets that ban, and then Monty now just got after he said he wasn't going to go to this event because they didn't want to pay him. They were like, oh. Okay, so they come up with some shit, and then came out with a statement saying that Monty did some shady shit, like completely secondary to what you know, the whole casting thing. This was because I think he's the owner and coach for Renegades, and they're like, guess what, Rip and Pepperino, year ban.
Whoa, the caster?
Yeah, Monty, fucking Monty, they fucking banned Monty.
Oh shit.
It's nuts. Shit. It's crazy. And like it's deep enough. Like Monty is apparently holding his tongue. He put a tweet out saying that he was, council has told him to just hold his tongue for now. So there will be a statement eventually. But that shit is heinous. Like,
yeah, one thing that I've noticed about Riot is over the last few years, the more
as a team owner, not as a caster, keep in mind, but like,
oh, okay, I was gonna say, wow, they banned,
but if you
that's still fucked up. I mean, you're gonna go to work, and you're gonna be like, hey guys, you know, I am the voice of your game, and you just kind of banned my team because you were salty that I wouldn't show up and take no pay.
Oh,
I thought for sure that the League of Legends casters would be making easy 6 figures a year.
But they're making dick.
Wow. But yeah, the thing that I've noticed about Riot in general, and that I've been hearing from people like figures in the community and stuff like that, is I don't know if it's necessarily like you have to suck their dick. I don't think that's the case at all. It obviously, would help if you're on good terms with Riot and which of getting things, but they are super extreme when it comes to, I'm trying to articulate this correctly, super extreme when it comes to having a certain type of standard or how they want to be perceived.
Yeah.
Like it's very very hardcore. Like, they don't want to be called an esport. They want to be called a sport. They if you're bad mouthing like a Riot employee, you're fucked. Like you're like, if you single out anybody, you're fucked. If certain streamers, act a certain way, like in terms of like bad manner, they rage in game and stuff like that, the chances of you being associated with Riot on a professional basis, you're great. Fucked. And even if you weren't associated with them on a business level, they can still like ban you if they deem it necessary. Like, they could say, hey, you're not allowed to play this game, and they'll literally go and ban all of your accounts. And they've even, from what I've heard, is they've even talked to Twitch in making sure that if you're a streamer that got banned from the game, if you stream the game, then Twitch will punish you for streaming it as well. This is what I've been hearing.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's truth to that, but it seems pretty legit. Like, it seems like if you burn a bridge with like specific Riot employees, like they just make your life hell. Like and the thing is, they just don't give a fuck. Like if they realize they're so big, but they're like, you know what? Yeah, okay, you're a huge streamer. Well, you're fucked. You're done. I don't give a shit how many people you bring into this game. I don't care. You're not acting the way we want you to act.
I'm fucking telling you, dude. We talked a bit about this. I think what was it, last week or the week before? Can't remember. I'm fucking telling you, Riot is digging their grave right now. This is like the seeds of Riot digging their fucking grave, and nobody will be able to convince me otherwise. They're so far up their own ass, and they're so in love with how they see their position in the industry as it is right now, and they think that they can just basically do whatever the fuck they want, which is true for a short period of time, but they will but they will fuck themselves up. They're gonna fuck up. Like to ban Monty from coaching and shit, or having any interactions with his team, but not as a caster, and they think that he's just going to like continue providing them with incredible casting when Monty could pretty much go anywhere and get paid better. Are they high? Like, and then if you don't have Monty, there's basically in North America there's only two casters worth listening to, Monty and I can't think of the other guy's name right now, and everybody else is like this subpar, hurts to listen to, cringeworthy shit, and that's all they've got. And they just act like the mother of, like Monty knows. Monty, it's quite possible that Monty knows that game inside and out, while also having a personality, and handles himself professionally better than any other person in the industry for League of Legends.
Well, it's like the same thing. It's like if Blizzard decided to at its peak, you know, say, hey, day 9, go fuck yourself. You know, I'm gonna pay you just enough to get by. You know, when day 9 is a big enough of a personality that he can get by perfectly on
which is where Monty's at, right? He can do it by himself.
Yeah, exactly. He can do it by himself, right? Obviously, you know, League of Legends, you know, gave him the majority of his success and popularity. Sure. But at the same time, you know, he's also provided for, you know, them with you know, commentary.
It's give and take.
It is give and take for sure, but I think a lot of the time is companies, also gaming companies, and just like sponsors in general. If we think about it as a sponsor thing, is I think they overvalue their value, and they undervalue
the people that are working with them.
People that are working for them, because an esport isn't just about the game. The game is one thing. Like, you can develop the game and have a great game. It's really all about the community, and it's all about the unsung heroes that are the ones that are doing production behind the scenes, that are setting up, you know, stages and making sure sound and lights and everything else is all hunky-dory. And of course, you know, the faces of said games, casters, players, teams, personalities. And I feel as though Riot, and once again, I'm gonna say I'm not a Riot fanboy, all right? So I'm not biased in any way, and I've hung out with both communities, StarCraft alike, Blizzard communities, and Riot. But I feel as though Riot is like, they like you said, they understand the position that they're in, and they're kind of strong-arming people into acting and being a certain way. I understand as a company. And as a brand, you want to be represented in a certain way. But at the same time, we're talking about a video game here that is based upon personalities, and the success. The bigger of personalities, good or bad, that you have in a community is going to bring eyes and is going to bring, you know, fans and people alike. And
let's be
fair. If you have everyone acting a certain way all the time, there's no originality. It becomes it almost becomes Korean like in StarCraft, but in an NA way. You know what I'm saying? Where everybody has to act and be a certain way. Everybody has to. Yes, of course, there's guidelines and rules that you have to follow, but at the same time, it's like, you know, there's got to be some give and take. There's got to be some leeway.
The other thing here is that, you know, what I don't think a lot of companies understand either is that when people come up in the community, whether they're using your name or not, is that they came up in the community. They didn't come up as a employee of your company that just so happens to be adored by the fan base. So if you take somebody like Monty or say Day 9, this never happened to Day 9, but let's say it did, who is professional, incredibly knowledgeable, top of the class, and is a phenomenal caster or community, you know, analyst, whatever you want to call it, and the people are gravitated toward them for those reasons. They're not gravitated toward them necessarily because they're attached to your game. So if you go as Riot and you go after your casters who have basically done nothing wrong, but help you grow your esport, and you go after them, nobody is going to champion Riot. They're all going to want to champion Monty.
Yeah, so well, because people have emotional connections and stuff.
They don't give a fuck about Riot.
They don't give a shit about Riot as a company.
No.
Like, oh, you know, okay, go make another $1 billion. I don't give a fuck. Like, why are you taking away the best parts of your game and the best parts of my experience through your game? You know, I get that. It's just, you know, they just have to they have to tread lightly here. Like they have to know when to, and I'll have to read up on this myself. I'm just going by what you're telling me and stuff, but it seems interesting. But I mean, if that's the case,
well, I'm just going off of tweets and shit. Like, yeah.
But I mean, you know, if the story is what you're saying and what you're reading, then it does seem kind of ludicrous. You know, if it's a money issue, I mean, at the same time, I'm sure that, you know, we're looking at here on Monty's perspective. We don't know what contracts are like. We don't know if Monty is contracted to do so many, you know, events a year, and in said contract stating how much he would be compensated for room and board or food or, you know, pay outside of you know the wherever he's going or whatever. We don't know. I have no idea. But what I do know is if Monty isn't in a contract where he's automatically locked in on so much, he should be able to say, hey, you know, I deserve to get paid more. I've done this for so long. I feel as though I need to get, you know, I gotta live. You know, there's way too much charity in esports in terms of doing work. It's a very, very tough industry to make money in, period. And a lot of people become very shocked when you think about it. And I thought for sure if anybody was getting, you know, a caster would be getting paid a lot of money, it would be the guys that are at the top of league, for sure.
Oh, you would think.
You would think. But at the same time, it doesn't surprise me if that's not the case. You know, I don't know. Maybe Monty is getting paid, you know, $200,000 a year, and he feels as though he's worth more. I have no idea. But at the same time, it doesn't surprise me because a lot of people in esports, whether you're a coach, unless you're a team owner, and even team owners, you know, are in debt and aren't making money. Unless you're like, you know, the big guys, obviously, you know, then you're swimming in cash. But in terms of people that are casting, people that are doing behind the scenes stuff, people that are doing whatever in esports, they are severely underpaid, and a lot of it, honestly, is volunteer. Like you're volunteering to get your hand in the door, because a lot of people that start in esports, they just want to be around esports. They just want to be part of what is happening. They want to be able to be part of those after parties, you know, meeting the players, meeting you know, the coaches and the employees, and creating contacts. But that only goes for so long. You know, your charity can only go so far. And I find that the esport industry has taken advantage of that for a long time.
Oh, hardcore.
And now that the money is very visible and that it is blown up to where it is, you know, when streamers are making millions of dollars a year and companies are posting $1 billion revenue for a year, there's no more hiding. You know, when big companies like Coca-Cola and Best Buy and all these other companies are buying into esports, when you're seeing it on ESPN TV and everything else, there's only so much that you can hide, and they're still working on this model that worked great to grow esports, because if everybody had to pay everybody back then, we probably wouldn't be where we're at, because companies and shit would go under even before they were established. I get that. But now, especially for companies like Blizzard, companies like Riot, you know, I'm just thinking about the two big guys there, even Valve, but Valve runs on a different, you know, a much different way than all these other companies, and always has, so you can't really fault them for what they do, because they have a certain, you know, business model. They don't want to be in the esports world, and they never said they wanted to be, but it is more of they still think it's ran on charity. It's like, hey, if we're not paying, you know, we weren't paying you before, but now we'll cover your room and board. You know, now we're doing a little bit more for you, but we're beyond that. So I don't know what the case is. I know for me personally, when I first started going to events and shit, and even you know, that came out of our pocket. Oh yeah. There was no, hey, LAGTV, I've seen you guys have been fucking crushing it on YouTube. You know, you guys are pulling in at our peak. You guys are pulling in like 6-7 million views a month. You know, the StarCraft is at its peak. You guys are pulling in big numbers. You're always in the top 3 in terms of streaming. You know what we're gonna do for you? We're gonna fly you to an event so you can sign some autographs, so that you can talk to us, and maybe we can work on some content together. You know, we're gonna treat you for what you've done. No, none of that happens. It's happened to me once, and it happened 7 months ago. Yeah. You know, when it was too late, and it was out of an act of desperation. It wasn't a genuine. No, it wasn't. It was. Oh, boys, we fucked up. They had their own agenda, right? They had their own agenda, and I still appreciated it, you know, and I expressed that fully. And they did treat me very well, and I made some friends there, and it was great, but it was long overdue, and it felt forced. It felt like there was a motivation behind it that wasn't to celebrate the work that we both have done together. It was more of like, hey, what can we do to make, you know, to make things better, to make things right. It wasn't. But anyway, you know, we were never paid to do those things, and very few people were paid to do those things. Even still, very, very few people. So I can see the frustration that what Monty is having right now, especially since I've never had the notoriety that he has had. You know, when you take into consideration it's the biggest game in the world. When you're casting in front of 1 million
like
plus people.
If this was League of Legends, if this was League of Legends like circa fucking 2011, okay.
Yeah, and then absolutely.
This is League of Legends circa 2016, where they're actually rolling in money like it's going out of style.
Well, I mean, back in the day, and I mean, even still for us, we didn't have a problem doing those things and paying out of pocket and stuff, because we wanted to do it. It was part of the networking. It was always being available, always being there. And it was an investment. But now, you know, those investments have been long paid off. And when do we get a kickback? You know, when do we see anything?
It wasn't like I wasn't looking like with the StarCraft community. I wasn't looking for some red carpet type shit. I was literally just like, hey, everybody. If it wasn't, now here's the thing: if it wasn't that, you know, everybody else got flown out, basically, except for us, I wouldn't be, you know, I wouldn't have been kind of frustrated with it. But it was the fact that everybody got flown out. Or handled, or they were all given VIP shit.
Yeah, anybody with I shouldn't say everybody was flown out, but I mean anybody that was
Jeff, we were the third largest fucking StarCraft community on YouTube. There's HD, Husky, us.
No, I know.
We're top 3.
And guess who's number 1 now? We are.
Because we're the only ones still doing it.
We're the only ones doing
it. So like, when everybody else is getting, you know, given that, like, I didn't expect to be, like, set up at a booth to sign fucking signatures. There'd be like fucking 10, 20 people. I could just do that on the show floor. Like, I don't need a table and, like, bodyguards to fucking do that shit. I'll just sign some stuff. But to get taken out so that we can spend time with the other casters and spend time with the community and get to network and things like that, we were never given that opportunity. And it always seemed very strange that never happened for whatever reason. And it wasn't for lack of them knowing about us, because in fact, apparently they know very well about us. It would have been strange to me if they didn't. So there was nothing. Like, everybody knew about us. We never really did anything to fucking piss anybody off.
The only excuse that I see, and it was never even brought to my attention, so I'm really fishing for it, is that we were never professional, right? We had a certain way of doing things, and commentating, and we kind of worked on our own schedule, and we kind of did whatever. But I mean, that you know, we weren't asking to cast for Blizzard, you know, or anything like that. It was just we were just never. I felt like everybody was in everybody's circle but us.
Yeah.
For my whole career, in StarCraft, I always felt like that. I was always the rebel. I was always the odd man out. I was always the.
I still think it's because we just weren't taking the game, like, at that super serious way that everybody else was, right? Everybody else that I just listed there was, you know, taking things incredibly serious. That's what they were doing. Like, the game was to be taken seriously. It wasn't to be taken lightly.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, I've spoken to Blizzard, and I'm not going to go into detail about our conversations and shit. But you know, they flat out, you know, apologized to me, and on the behalf of both of us, for, you know, the lack of communication, the lack of involvement that we've had over the years, and they appreciated it, and so much so that I could really see that, you know, some of the higher ups, you know, even the CEO, knew who we were, watched the shows. You know, some of the employees watched them faithfully, and enjoyed them, and, you know, spread the word and stuff like that. But at the same time, they just, for some reason, I don't know why, and I still don't. All they do is just apologize and just say, you know, it is what it is, and that we're trying to make good for it now. But once again, like I said, it just didn't. It's the times are different now. You know, almost everybody's moved on. But the thing is we just were never given. And I hate talking about this.
I hate talking about this because it just makes us seem like we're like
makes us seem like we're some whiny, like, fucking emo like, fuckboys that need validation or need some sort of pat on the back. Like, I've gotten my pat on the back for the last 6 years of the amount of support that I've gotten from my fan base. So you know, it is what it is. I know we kind of sound like we haven't had parents growing up, and oh, I wish that, you know, my parents would call me and find me one day and tell me how much they're sorry and how much they, you know, they love me as a child. That's what it kind of sounds like. Yeah. But at the same time, you know, we kind of do have a right to go, you know, well, shit. Fuck. Dude, I didn't even have one Blizzard employee on my Skype until last year. You know what I mean? Yeah. Not one. Not a single one. When I was at StarCraft events, I had to get a lesser known caster to let me
to get you in back. Yeah, to go back.
To get me out back.
Oh, I know.
You know, to shake some hand and see my peers.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, like that was the craziest part for me.
I had to pull strings to get a VIP pass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, you know, that's the least that you could do. You know, there should have been somebody on marketing that is going, hey, you know, let's find out if those LAGTV guys are going, you know, to this event. Let's find out if Husky. Let's find out if HD. Let's find out if Psy. Let's find out if Destiny. Let's find out if all these guys are going to these events, and let's hook them up with whatever we can. You know, like, I'm not asking to fly us out, not asking to put us up into a 5-star hotel, not asking to send us out to a fancy steak dinner, not asking for you to fucking pay for my time to be out there, not asking for any of it. But just something like, you know, just to say, hey, we know you're there and we appreciate you being here. You know, that's all one could ask for. Even once. I've been to about 15 events in my lifetime. I've never once been asked, except for last year, and it wasn't even directly asked of me. My manager, my manager came to me with the idea because I was playing MOBAs, and it was for a Heroes of the Storm thing. It wasn't even for StarCraft, and said, "Hey, you know, one of the guys that I deal with has been a huge Blizzard supporter forever. You should really invite him." And that's how I got the contact. It had nothing to do with, you know, remember that Maximus Black guy? You know, we should contact him. So it is what it is, and it brings it full circle to where we're talking about Monty is I understand, I just get it, and he's gotten way more than what we've ever gotten. So, you know, but at a game at such a scale as League of Legends, you go, holy shit. Wow, I can't believe, you know, that he would be treated this way. But once again, we only know his side of the story, if we even know the real side of the story.
Well, to be fair, we're never going to hear Riot's side, because Riot's never... Even if Riot had a good reason, you think they'd fucking come out with it? And honest to God, Riot hasn't given me a reason to friggin' put any faith in them. Because they've done this shit on the side for, like, many, many times now.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like Monty is some like, you know, rando wild card, you know, out there friggin' fucking shit up. It's Monty. It's just crazy to me. It's nuts. It is what it is. I'm gonna have to look into it, because it sounds interesting, but I feel the esports struggles. Like I've lived it for many years now. There's this misconception that, you know, people in esports get paid a lot of money. Some do, absolutely, but it's a handful of the some do. It isn't spread equally in any means, and in some cases that's warranted for sure. There's people that deserve to get paid more than others. But it is in esports, you have to be business savvy. You can't take no for an answer, and you have to be able to say no. And that's one of the really tough things in esports is saying no to opportunities that you've never had before. And we've made that mistake in the past, rushing into things and contracts because of money, because those things were never offered to us before. And just being educated and understanding how it works, and understanding that esports, the majority of esports is ran by young people, and those young people, a lot of the time are pretty smart individuals. They're in it to make money for themselves. The majority of them don't care about the community as a whole. If you can get that in the process, unless they care about it because they understand that community is what makes and drives revenue. But it isn't a lucky go happy place, as what people think it is. And as a content provider that has been doing it a long time, I can honestly say that if anybody out there wants to be a caster, wants to, you know, be a pro player, just understand what you're getting yourself into. I was at that Twitch party in Las Vegas, and I was talking to, because it was a Heroes of the Storm event. I was talking to players on Heroes of the Storm teams, and we're talking fairly big teams. I'm not going to name drop anybody or anything like that, and I'm not making this up. I'm really not making this up. There are people that were playing on the main stage for big teams that are getting paid $100 and $200 a month. Oh yeah. Oh, that's common. $100 and $200 a month. That's what they're getting paid. That's super common. And unless they win, they're pretty much fucked. You know, they are people that are at the top. Now, to be fair, we are talking Heroes of the Storm here, but I mean, even still,
when you are at the top of the game.
Dude, there was people in StarCraft that did it for a long time like that. There's people in League that are getting paid that much money.
Yep. People in League that are getting paid nothing.
Yeah.
Literally. And I get that, because you do have to prove your worth, but at the same time, it's not easy to make it. So all these, like, you know, all these try-hard players that are grinding, thinking they're gonna be the next fucking whoever and whatever, and you know they're gonna be living happily ever after, and an esport, you know, gonna have all kinds of Asian women, and you're gonna make all this money, and you're gonna be fucking hot shit. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not saying it's not possible. It's extremely unlikely. It's extremely unlikely, and reality will set in.
It's just this whole conversation can be summed up, in my opinion, like this. Esports is run by largely a combination of two people. They're either business people who have seen opportunity from the outside, who are seasoned business individuals who are in their like 40s and 50s, who are coming back as an investment opportunity, and they're going into it in that way. And then
it's usually
the other
their money that is going into it.
Yeah, it's usually their money, right?
But it's usually a younger
it's run by a bunch of young people who are on average hideously unprepared for business and incapable of operating within a business capacity that doesn't involve behaving like a bunch of high school students. People are me first, you later, which, you know, obviously people are gonna be like, oh, it's fucking everywhere. You're such fucking thanks, Nostradamus. Like, you're such fucking awesome. The esports industry is full of people who are only there for themselves.
But here's the thing, and I don't want to cut you off.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to throw this in here, and you can continue. Is the sad thing about it is, Adam, is it almost has to be that way now. Is where if you're not in it for yourself at this point, you're stabbing yourself in the foot, and it's sad because.
But that's what you have to.
That's what you have to
because
do.
Everybody else is fucking doing it.
Everybody else is doing that. Yes.
So like you can't go in with the mindset, or well, I won't want to say you can't, like as a imperative, but it would be you're putting yourself in an extraordinary disadvantage by not being a giant cunt in the esports business.
Yep.
And it's unfortunate because the esports is a new industry with young people that you would hope would try and pull away from some of the business practices and tendencies of the old white dudes running the entertainment business as it is, and they don't, and you end up in that constant struggle of am I going to be an asshole as well, and for the sake of taking it that next step, or am I going to try and do it a little bit more friendly and then hope for the fucking best? But but it's a dangerous combination in the industry where the more dangerous thing even still, and actually Destiny had a tweet not that long ago that was kind of talked about this, is that a lot of people are getting into this industry as streamers or you know, pro players and things like that. They're all very young.
Yep.
Most of them are going out of high school and just going into this shit, right? Mm-hmm. And they've never worked outside of this industry, and they've never experienced any of that. And they gain a lot of popularity quickly, and then they are the most egotistical, fucking
I've seen
madness.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I've seen some fucking shit. I've seen some fucking shit.
People don't. They have no perspective on life. They actually have zero perspective. They want everything. They think they deserve everything.
Yeah. And it's not, and I know we're doing a lot of complaining.
I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit.
Neither do I.
I'm turned into an old man.
It's a conversation. But,
it is.
And it's there's a flip side to it all too, people, because there is, what do I want for dinner? I will take a
pork chop.
I will take a chicken chop salad with double chicken. Please and thank you. There's a flip side to it, because there are people that aren't cutthroat. There are people that are fair. There are people that don't have crazy egos, and there are people that are doing well. But the reason why there are so many that are the opposite is because those are the ones that stand out. Those are the ones that are vocal. Those are the ones. You know, if you got somebody that's humble about, you know, where they're at and what they're doing, you're not going to have any reason to bring them up, because they just do what they need to do. They go on by their day. Perfect example of that is Nightblue, a guy that has a tremendous amount of success on Twitch. Super nice guy. Humble as all fuck. I've talked to him a few times. And you wouldn't think for a second the guy's got the success that he has. And then you have, you know, people on the opposite side, I'm not going to name any names for the sake of drama, that are the complete opposite. That are, hey, look at my $500,000 car. Hey, look at all of my women. Hey, look at all of this shit. Hey, look how big I am. Hey, I don't deserve to wait in this lineup. Hey, I don't deserve to, you know, have to, meet these demands. I can be fashionably late. Hey, I can do whatever the fuck I want to do, because guess what? I'm young and rich. And if you don't need me, well then I'll go somewhere else, you know, type thing. There are a lot of those people, and that is fine, but it is exactly what you were saying, exactly what, I don't know exactly what Destiny was saying, but there are people that, and the majority of them are young. They, like you said, came out of high school. You know, a lot of them came up with no money.
It's like the Justin Bieber effect.
It really is.
Like you go from 0 to 100 overnight, and they have zero perspective on shit, and it's crazy. Like it's so
funny,
crazy.
dude. I've had people come up to me that are much more successful than I am, and literally say, Jeff, I see what you do. You know, you seem like you know what you're doing in terms of a business standpoint. And they would come to me, and it's happened, I don't know, say a dozen times over the years. It's happened actually more so in the last year than ever. Mm-hmm. But they would come to me for advice on what to do in terms of how do I do taxing? You know, what do I do about taxes? What do I do about asking me things, general things that they should have known about years ago, but now is waking up to the reality that, oh shit, you know, maybe I shouldn't have spent all this, or maybe I shouldn't have done all that, or I'm not as popular as I used to be, and I have these habits now. What am I gonna do with myself? You know, and you see that a lot, because a lot of people that are in this industry are going, you know, you got some, for example, if you got some streamer making $500,000 a year, and they're 20 years old, and they have no idea the concept of a dollar, because like you said, they've never worked in their lives. And when they're making $50,000 a month, I mean, you can pretty much do whatever the fuck you want to do without any worry. And they just assume that this money is always going to keep coming in. And in this industry, it's, you know, you're on the top one day and you're not the next. And it's all about, you know, how you're going to transition, how you're going to deal with that when the time comes, and how you're preparing for that, the inevitable, because it will happen to all of us, plain and simple.
Yep.
Is how you're going to prepare for that. And the thing is, a lot of them are just young and not business savvy. And
well,
they
it's
just
not even
don't
about
care.
business. They don't like because they get to skip the part about life where they even had to learn about taxes and like things that you can do to basically set yourself up. This is just fucking grown up shit that they haven't had to do yet because they just hopped right into it, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing. There's nothing.
Yeah, and you can't really blame them.
No,
you know, because
no, but I can't blame them for not knowing how to do their fucking taxes. I can blame them for being a cunt.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just being a human, right? That's. But
yeah, no, I get it. I get it, and it's just one of those things where it's a love-hate relationship for me. It's mostly love. But and the thing is the stuff that I don't like about esports and the people that I don't like about it, I don't surround myself with it. And it's just quite that simple. But it is funny, like, looking, because, you know, I'm an outsider. I really am. I've always been that way. Like I said earlier, even when I go to events and stuff, you know, unless I'm with people in the community that I'm hanging out with and that I'm meeting up with, then I don't really know many. I know people, but I just don't click with. I don't put myself out there. It's not that I'm socially, you know, awkward or I get nervous in those situations. It's quite the opposite. A lot of the people I just don't care about. It's very high schooly. It's very cliquey. And I dealt with that in high school, and I had bad experiences with that in high school. I just don't. I'm a grown ass man. I'm fucking 29 years old. I ain't got time to fucking hang out with a bunch of 19-year-old millionaires that fucking want to complain that their fucking sushi wasn't fresh for their $400 meal. I just don't care. I just don't give a fuck. Like, I just don't. Like, and there are those people that, you know, will hang around with those people. I'm more of the type of hey, you know, I'm going to be in town, guys. Whoever wants to hang out, let's go grab a fucking beer and grab some nachos and hit up a karaoke bar. You know, that's me. Maybe I'm just getting old and fucking...
No, it has nothing to do with getting old. It's just...
well, I am 29 now. You know, if you ask me...
Well, yeah, you're...
I don't know.
Yeah, but your stance on shit doesn't mean you're getting old.
I guess.
If age was if relative age when we're still sub 30 was the barometer for whether or not you can be a cocksucker, that's pretty bad. Like, just you know, come on, please.
Yeah. I've always been the type, like, I'm not fucking Mr. Goody Good. I've always had a certain type of I guess a certain type of ego. Even when I started to have success, I had to check myself, you know, over the years and the way I act. It was more of like realizing that, hey, you know, there's a lot of people that look up to me. There's a lot of people that watch me. And even on a business standpoint, like in terms of sponsorship and stuff, you know, there's a certain way I have to act and stuff like that, even if it isn't, even if I'm just being myself. Of course, I've had to check myself. But I mean, I've never been at that level of, like, you know, arrogant. You know, I don't have the level of success that a lot of people have, but I do have you know, I've done very well for myself, but I've always kind of stayed the same, from day one. Nothing has really changed. And when it was starting to change, you know, like I said, I've checked myself pretty quickly. I had no choice but to, or I get called out on it. But I feel as though, like, now it's just there's so many, it's over the top. There's so many of them. It's just like, Jesus fucking Christ. It's literally insane. It's so hard to put it into words, guys. Like, you have to see it for yourself.
It's hard not to, like, talk about this and not, like, fumble over your words and try to come up with, like, a decent way of describing it.
Yeah, because when you're witnessing it, you're going, what the fuck? Is this for real? Like, is this that dude that I see all the time, or this, you know, is this that girl that I see all the time? Like, you're going, wow, man, these guys are just on a whole nother level. I just can't get on board with that. It really is high school amplified with money and fame, and it's like, damn.
Yep.
It's pretty. I have to say, it's entertaining. It really is. Like, you see some of it and you just laugh and shit. and you can poke fun and stuff, but then you go and you're like, damn, these are the community leaders, you know? God damn.
Mm-hmm.
We're in some trouble.
We're in some shit.
Yeah.
We're in some deep shit.
Good parenting goes a long way. Yeah, well, I had good parents, but I mean, it's a common sense goes a long way too, right? It is what it is. I don't know how we got over to that topic, but
oh, neither do I, but we always manage to find our way back there one way or another. It's just yeah. I can say that as much as I love doing this and being part of the whole thing, it's really only at this point because of my fans. There are a very limited number of people that actually proper work in the industry that I would even be interested in working with or even meeting. Like, very few. Yeah. The industry is inundated with people who are just nobody that I would want to associate myself with, whether or not it would garner me more success. That's not interesting to me. I want to surround myself.
And that's the thing. Yeah, and that's the thing that also makes me a little salty. Is you almost, in order to be successful, like on a grand scale, and this is, there's obviously people that don't follow this and do well, but it's definitely in the minority. Is you almost have to associate yourself with those groups of people.
Yeah, of course you do.
And circle jerk and put on a fake smile, unless you enjoy that type of atmosphere to begin with. And if you're not in that, you're on your own, and it's that much harder to make a name for yourself if you're not associating yourself with other people.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of those other people are like we said, young, successful, a lot of egos. But once again, I've met plenty of people that don't have those egos, and those are the individuals that I will have dinner with and hang out with and stuff like that. I, of course, have had dinner and hung out with people that are the opposite. And the thing is, a lot of those people, I've had good experiences with, even the ones that are a little cray. I've had good experiences with them. But if you put them in a certain situation or certain scenario, you can see the true colors come out. You hang around with someone long enough, they can't hide it for that much longer. I've always, even in high school, and throughout my young adult life, I mean, I can't get away with it now because I'm on the internet so much, but I've always been a good chameleon. Like, I've always been that way. I could go into a group of people and pretend to be who I'm not, but pretend to be somebody else just to fit in with a group of people, and whether they bought it or not, I think most times they did, I would do reasonably well. But in this industry, I just pretty much since day one kind of refused to do that. And I think maybe it is because I've gotten older and I've just realized, and like you said, we've become a little more jaded, and we're becoming those old men that like to complain because we can complain. Perhaps that's part of it, but when you're around people long enough, you just kind of see it, and you're just like, okay, I see you. I saw it there. I saw the glimpse.
No, yeah.
You're taking down all the stuff. Oh no, never mind. You're just taking carrots.
No, well, I'm replanting. I'm just harvesting.
The word is crotchety. Crotchety?
Crotchety.
Never heard that before.
It's a word that doesn't get thrown around very often.
You become more aware the older you get. Yeah, maybe that's it. And I'm not even that old, but I mean...
I was aware of this long ago. It wasn't like I woke up one morning and was like, oh my god, the world is dark and full of retards. Like, that wasn't...
Well, I think... Well, I always knew that pretty cutthroat world, but in an environment of video games and fun and stuff like that, you just maybe as just naive, like just younger and naive and just was just happy to be part of it. I wasn't as aware. I wasn't looking around my surroundings. I was just there. You know, I wasn't like observing. I wasn't like people watching. And now I do more people watching. And it's mainly because I've become more and more on the outside as the longer I stay in this. And the more and more on the outside I am, the more I see, because I'm just not part of the conversation anymore. I can just kind of look at it from an outsider's perspective.
It's
and then you start putting shit on once you have kids.
It's just fucking disappointing, right? Because you want this industry that you're part of, and you know, like you said, it's freaking video games, and it's community and everything else, and you want it to not be so douchey, and it just ends up being douchey anyway. Like, well, fuck. You know, that's just.
You know, this is supposed to be open, right? The inside.
Oh yeah, it's all open inside. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
I just covered it up so I didn't fall into it.
Ah.
Yeah.
I thought you just had it all solid.
No, she's all light is on. We're working. We're working. Eventually, I'm gonna have some pipes come from here and be like, and feed chests in here.
Oh shit.
Yep. I'm obviously gonna build something that isn't a wooden chest pretty soon, but I'm just placeholdering everything for now. Just having shit there. I'm actually gonna move. I think I'm gonna move. Think about where I want to put my furnaces and shit. Do I even need furnaces at this point? Like, what is a smeltery not just basically? Well, it can be used for things. A smeltery can do anything a furnace can do, right? And then some. Like, that's the understanding. So, do I even really need furnaces?
Well, you're gonna want a furnace to like cook meat and shit like that.
Yeah, I guess that would be the use of the furnaces.
And if you want to like pound down some sand and shit quickly, you're not gonna want to like put it all through all this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely need to put a top on mine, but I want to get my smeltery inside too. But I want to put it like way down in the basement. All right, what do you say we call it a part then?
Yeah, I think that's a good part. I think that's good.
Probably about an hour.
A solid part, and I'll take this next break to just run upstairs and preheat the oven and start popping stuff in for dinner.
Yep, we'll just do one more part after that, since they're fairly long, and we got to catch up on YouTube anyway.
Yeah, of course. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, that is another section. I finally have a smeltery. It happened.
Yes, sir.
It actually happened.
You know, we should start doing for these videos is we should. You know, start giving them topics or names, you know what I mean, instead of just like generic things. It's like if we just pick like a big topic we can talk about while we're playing. That way. Are you actually
going to try and like put a constraints around what we end up talking about, because you know that's never going to fly?
Well, I don't think so, but I think if anything, like if we take a whole entire episode like this and we talk about, you know,
oh fuck,
esports or whatever. Be kind of cool to let everybody kind of know, like, hey, you might want to tune into this.
If things come out that way, then we can,
you know, or not, no, or not to, you know.
I think the 2,000 people that watch this shit are gonna watch it one way or another, and they'll find out.
I think so.
I think that's.
But I think if people knew that it wasn't us playing a 4-year-old game for 4-year-olds, you know, I think they might enjoy it a little bit more, or just rage even more. I don't know.
Probably just rage more.
Yeah, probably.
They're looking for a reason. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna be it for this part. We'll see you guys on the next part, which for those on the live stream will happen soon. For those on YouTube, you gotta wait a little bit. We'll see you soon. Peace.